Okay, well, good morning, everybody. I want to show you what crosshatch sanding does. Okay, I don't know if y'all see that line there. There's a cut in the paint. I don't know if this is actually layering it or not, so let me see if I can see it. Yeah. Okay, there's the line right there. All right. Now, give me a little bit of time. Probably gonna need a new piece of sandpaper because I think this one's worn out. Wait a minute, maybe not. Nope. Do this like this. Okay. You know, as you do is you go this way for a little while. Now, you don't want to go too hard, because if you go too hard, then you wind up having paint blobs in your sandpaper. Now, remember what I told you, the lows is the dull, and the high points, no, the lows are the actual shiny point. I'm sorry, I'm getting my channel screwed up again. The lows are the actual glossy points. The highs are the dull finish. So the whole purpose for this is to bring the shiny point even with the dull point. So that way when you repaint this car, you don't have scratches showing up in your paint from underneath. Now, this is going to take a little while, so just bear with me. Of course, try and blow everything out of there. Now you can see, should be getting a lot better. And now you can see it's actually coming close to the actual top finish. So we gotta go like this, keep doing this until it comes out. You shouldn't be able to see that anymore. You don't paint on a swirl. You never sand in a circle. I'm sorry. I'm still not awake yet. My mind's not registering upstairs yet. Yeah, it's going to take some paint out, but the whole purpose for this is to have as little flaws as possible. It'll take a while to get that out. Man, that thing is deep. way again. Alright, I'm going to try a little bit of wet sanding, see if that's going to help any. This is 400 grit. It looks like somebody actually put a razor blade into the paint. This is not something that I did, and I think it was probably the little kids around the area, or my ex-wife's son, his friends, probably had something to do with it. But as you can see, the wet sanding is actually smoothing everything out. Still crosshatch, but yesterday my video was wrong. You don't go down in the numbers, you go up in the numbers. So say if that's 60 sandpaper grit, you go to 80, then you go to 100, then you go to 120. I think the next step is 400, 600, 800, and then 12, 2,000, and then I think ultimately a 3,000 if you can actually find that grit sandpaper. I have not had any luck finding 300 or 3,000 grit sandpaper. So okay, and I can still see the scratch, so I got to go higher, and I don't know if I have that. No, it's actually getting a lot better. This is going to take a while because yeah, somebody did this with a blade. I guess they thought they were funny or cute or something. Wish I can go on their property and damage their personal belongings and treat their shit just like they do mine. Okay, I may have to repaint this over again. Well, the whole car is going to have to be repainted anyway, so wet sanding at this point is not going to hurt. All right, well, in any event, I don't know if you could see that any better, but the actual scratch is a lot less than what it was. It's not as deep. Now, as to this area up here, remember I was telling you when you could see the darker areas, that's the actual lows. Well, I was right. It is the lows. They're lower than the actual paint level, so you need to sand them all out in order for it to be a halfway decent finish. I'm using wet sanding paper right now because it's not far from it, even though it still needs to be sanded. I don't know if this is going to do it or not. I'll try and put this over here. Maybe this will get a better perspective. Okay. So with this here now, because the dark is not far from the faded, it's better to wet sand it. I gotta bring my nasty bucket of water juice over here so I can do this. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. Okay. Yeah, I got my morning coffee out here. And when you dip the sandpaper in water, try and get as much of the paint off of it as you can. Okay, that side. I'm going to use this hand here. As you can see, I'm still doing crosshatch sanding. It doesn't matter what grit I'm using. My point is to try and bring the paint levels even. And yeah, it's going to tear the hell out of the pigmentation, but the whole point of this is when you use machine glaze, it'll bring all that back. So now it's going to be this way. At some spots where the paint is not actually applied enough, it's going to be very weak to the point where it actually shines a bare thing of metal. Not to worry, because like I said, the car is going to be repainted again with another coat. And I can see a lot of imperfections in this right now, up in the front, where I'm at right now. Okay. And it's kind of embarrassing going to a car show and you know you can see this, but knowing everybody else can see this is even worse. So you don't want to make yourself look like nobody at a car show or a pauper. And you don't have to, as long as you know how to do things the right way. Okay, dip again. And let's see, we still got some low and high points, but that's what the sanding's all about. If I have to, I'll go back to the 60. In order to get it out. Okay. I gotta rinse that. And don't worry about debris being in the water, because you're going to be washing the car off anyway. Now, I didn't wash anything off after I was done yesterday. I got too tired and went inside. But I figure this way, people could see firsthand how to do it, and with different types of sandpaper. Always make sure you have it cleaned off, because if you don't, you're just putting that stuff back on. See, there's the paper. Okay, just keep going over it. There's a couple imperfections down here, and the only reason why I don't like wet sanding is because the wetness of the water deludes you from seeing the actual highs and lows. And that's why I like to do it with the dry. But if you take your time with it, ultimately you'll get it. And some of these things are just the requirements. I know this seems like an old caveman way of doing things, but believe me, when they didn't have $3,500 RPM polishers and buffers, this is the way the old men used to do it. In the caveman era, if you will. I'm only joking, but it gave them a greater satisfaction to know that they actually did it themselves and they didn't have somebody else messing with their car. All right, now let that sit, because I think I'm gonna try and get this spot here. It is looking a lot better. Still has some work. But yeah, this is the whole point behind it. You want your car to look as good as possible. You're not going to go to a car show with something that looks like it was just pulled out of a junkyard unless it was rat rod meat. Okay. Now I want to see if this is still recording or if it's stopped. Hang on. Nope, still recording. Okay, now, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's very few lows right now. Got a couple of spots in the front there, and I'm going to do this right here. And then I'm going to try and do some of this on the door. The upper and the lower is actually going to have to be sanded with 60 grit first, because I got to get that line sanded down and these pop rivets. But this is not looking too bad. This is actually coming out better than I thought it would. I thought I was going to have to strip everything off and redo everything all over again, but it's not looking too bad. So, all right, I figure I'll be back in a little while, give you guys an update. Right now, I see another spot I got to do. Crap. Okay. I'm probably going to do this whole fender just to get it knocked out. And I want to get that dent out of the front too. Everybody could see that. I'm surprised nobody commented that. All right. Don't forget to subscribe and like and hit that bell for post notifications. Oh yeah, you can see right there in the fender. It's actually a lot smoother. Okay. Thanks. I'll see you all in a little while. Bye.